It didn't go to Facebook.
The girls were outside in DC for Memorial Day weekend. This is the DC Pride reaction on Dear Black Gay Men in the Morning, and the show starts right now. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. It's Tuesday, so it's time for a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men in the Morning. And just like with all our content, just like with all of our content, hopefully this is your weekly reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men who love black gay men. T.S. Madison and Khia got into it at DC Pride, competing appearances with competing messages that culminated in a heated conversation between the two while T.S. Madison was on her way to her next gig. If you want to watch the full story, links to the gay magazine's coverage are in the description. Before we start, let me say something though. Dear Black Gay Men, here, we will never, under any circumstances, broadcast, platform, or otherwise publicize anybody who intentionally misgenders a person of trans experience. I don't care if they even allude to disrespecting the personhood and lived experience of any trans person. That's why I will not be playing any piece of what Khia said from the stage at DC Pride. The unfortunate truth is that some butch queen thought it was appropriate to put a woman on stage during Pride who has called trans women niggas and men in wigs, who has called gay men faggots, and otherwise undermined the experience of all of us because she was mad at one person. Yep. T.S. Madison may not know it, but she has put me on by agreeing to sit with me during interviews when we were just at the beginning of this podcast. So let me add this. I don't like Khia. I don't cut for that bitch. You will never hear her music at any of our events. You will not see us promote her for any reason because she is the definition of performative outrage. That's why the bitch don't even know the letters LGBT, let alone the QIA and the plus. Having said all of that, let me welcome the best producer in internet television. Aaron, are you there? Where
yes,
you at,
I
Aaron?
am. Oh my Lord.
Where you at, Aaron?
Where am I at? Oh no.
Oh no, Aaron.
Hold on. There I am.
There you are, but we got this box
got
in the middle.
Other one.
Okay. Hey, Aaron.
Hey,
how was
Jay.
while you getting it worked out, how was your Memorial Day weekend?
My Memorial Day weekend was amazing.
So Aaron, we broadcast on Thursday and you were on location. You were not in DC.
I was not in DC.
Have you heard about all the craziness that happened to DC?
I have. We're going to go back here for a second.
Okay.
But yes, I heard about all the craziness that went on and I was just like, Lord, fix it, Jesus.
So before we get to what was said, what do you think about Khia being on the stage at DC Pride?
So when it was announced, I believe I was talking to you. It was around the time that we were interviewing Derek Lumiere.
Yeah.
And I asked him in his interview, what do you feel, like I just alluded to, like, how do you feel about gay pride events having non-gay people as our headliners, right? And so we were just talking about that, and I felt like I had a strong issue with it because I'm just like, I don't follow her or anything like that. But I'm like, ain't this the woman that's always talking about punks and faggots and all of that stuff? And like, I don't remember hearing anything positive that she had to say about the gay community. So I'm just like, who would invite her as a headliner other than to be messy?
Well, I don't know that she was a headliner. Headliner is a little generous, but she was definitely performing at DC Pride. And my issue with this particular performer is she is one of those that you be talking about that loves the girls down until one of us does her wrong. And next thing you know, we faggots and we all the expletives. And then she says shit like, but I got a gay niece or a gay nephew or a gay cousin or whatever. Just like, and it sounds like the same bullshit when white people be like, I got a black friend or whatever to mask all your racist bullshit. Khia is a problem in our culture. And I don't know what would anybody think to put her on the stage.
Yeah. And to be clear, it was not official DC Pride that put her on the stage. It was some separate promoter who had some event. And the internet was reading him to smithereens
I
about
think
it.
that's what I mean, I have watched the full T.S. Madison commentary, but I think that's one of the people that she mentioned in
Yes.
her story. But the gotcha about it, though, imagine this. Like, what has Pride degenerated into? When any Pride event, whether it's official or not, has a performer on stage calling a woman, a trans woman like T.S. Madison, a nigga,
Yep.
and then we give that person the mic.
But let's pause for a second. I was watching some of the reactions to it from other trans women in the community who stated that's why they don't go to Pride.
And th-
They are more, they're like, I'm not going to Pride unless it's trans Pride or unless it's something that's led by trans people. I'm not going because apparently this is the kind of shit that happens.
Well, Hope Giselle and I used to work really closely together 24 last year, and she would talk about how it was always feel very awkward
Hmm.
because there be these butch queens out here that don't understand that the T is an actual part of our culture.
Yes.
They feel as if that cis people have LGBTQIA plus culture in a chokehold.
No, the cis people was too scared.
The cis people were just
The trans people was the bold
the
ones.
trans people was the ones that threw the first
Bruce
brick.
Brick, that's why
They
we
all
got
the things.
Pride.
But the gotcha about all of this that does not make sense to me is that some of these girls, in this case, I really mean the girls.
Hmm.
Some of these bush queens are out here so busy chasing clout, so busy chasing whatever they think or believe is gonna get their name hot in the streets, that they forget like the purpose for all of these things.
Yeah,
Pride ain't just some circuit party, although that's a component of our culture. Pride is a lot bigger than just, turning up and getting drunk.
exactly.
And because I think so many of us, the promoters especially, only think it's turning up and getting drunk, we lose sight of all these things to where Khia gets on a stage. Even though she said some of the most hurtful and destructive things in our culture, and she's done it with those horrible fucking teeth and sitting on her leather sofa. Now I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, I know you hate this word, but pride is about community. And
This is the reason why I hate this word.
yes,
Is because people want to hide behind the word community when they're not communal about anything.
exactly.
We don't have a
And
collective consciousness around who to protect, how
yes,
to protect, how we activate for folks, and people just out here being destructive for no reason. I need to
maybe
stop
it's
cussing.
maybe it's time for you to redefine the word.
Mm.
You don't want to
That's a tall order for
take
me.
ownership
I just
of
want
it.
to sit at this desk and talk to amazing people. That's all I want to do. I want to sit at this desk and have dope conversations with amazing people.
Yes,
But in the interim, you ready for some church announcements, Aaron?
I am. Let's hear them.
All right, let's go. We bring content every day right here on Dear Black Gay Men. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and watch all of our live content like Dear Black Gay Men in the Morning that you're watching now and Thirsty Thursday that's coming back soon. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss a post or a live show. And then, of course, our newsletter is for free, Substack, where me and our contributors do a deep dive into our sex lives and our love lives and our gay lives. It's all gay all the time. This week, we have some big news. Very exciting. We have 3 live shows coming in June for Pride Month. I am probably over the moon because we are going to be taking what we do here on Thirsty Thursday and Dear Black Gay Men and putting it in front of a live audience. You can get your tickets now. The link is in the description. We've got 3 shows. They have 3 different themes. The first is June 5th, and it is Leather Night on Dear Black Gay Men podcast, where you can come wear your leather, appropriate leather. Now we on the internet, so don't be coming up in there naked in your jockstrap with your booty hole out. Like that, we need to be appropriate, Aaron.
Huh?
Yes, we need to be appropriate. And then for those who are watching, we are going to be extending our members only pricing. So if you get your ticket during today's show, you can get members only pricing. The ticket link is in the description. I cannot wait to see everybody. There have been people sliding in my DMs telling me that they're going to be coming into the city for our live shows. They're going to be, pulling out all the themed events and all the things. Now, when you come up to me because I'm gonna be talking to everybody. When you come up to me, tell me your screen name so I know who I'm talking to. Because all I see are screen names and the little profile picture. Are there comments in there?
Uh-huh. The comments going off. The comments are going off this
I'm
morning.
sorry, y'all. We'll get to the comments in just a second.
Yes.
But this is I really can't tell you how excited I am to like be in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be able to talk to y'all on the internet. I think Aaron, you agree. It's one thing to talk to people on the internet. It's another thing when like we all in the same room, vibing off of each other and doing all the things. So I cannot wait to get the DBGN fam in a room on TV to, you know, do what we do best. Now we got some big guests though.
You got an air horn for me? I feel like an air horn go right there. Like
I don't have the air horn button right now. I don't have it. I think maybe. There we go. But there's some big guests. It's just a lot happening, and I would be remiss if I didn't say shout out to the team, Aaron and our production team. Y'all are working double time to make sure that this happens. So I'm really excited to have y'all. Make sure you get your tickets. I will see you on June 5th. That's our first show. That is our first show. Then I think that's what I'm supposed to say. Okay. And then we go live every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Dear Black Gay Men in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. New content on Substack. You can join for free at dearblackgaymen.substack.com. And then live shows. We have 3 live shows coming in Atlanta, like I said, for Pride Month, June 5, June 12, and June 19. Get your tickets now at the link in the description. I want to give a shout out to a couple people. Our newest channel member is Mari. Newest channel member is Mari. Hey Mari, thank you for joining the channel. The top commenter this week is We Dilly 19143, and our newest paid subscriber on Substack is J Martin F. Shout out to all of y'all, because your help, your support really does help us keep bringing you this content every week.
And we also got a new subscriber.
Hey Aaron.
In the chat that has made it to his first show.
Aaron 4K, hey, welcome to the family. I'm so excited to have you. Remember, for everybody joining us, the best way to support Dear Black Gay Men is to become a member of our YouTube channel. Members get access to exclusive conversations, members only chat, behind the scenes content, and you can join me to chop it up right here on the show. Becoming a member is one of the easiest ways to support what we do on Dear Black Gay Men. Just hit the join button below this episode or send a super chat of any amount. For all the latest updates, follow me everywhere at JAI the Gentleman on Instagram. That concludes our church announcements. Please govern thyself accordingly, and we will be right back. I've been in the gym so I could do 2 things. It's 1, thirst trap on the internet, and look good for my man when I find one. And that's why I'm excited that support for Dear Black Gay Men comes from Twillery. Black men, whether you're in the gym like me or blessed with good genetics like me, carry our weight in a couple key spots that can make suits and slacks hard to fit and uncomfortable to wear without either having to size up or break the bank in tailoring. But Twillery answers the fit problem with their performance fabrics. It's the right fit for the tailored look and just enough stretch for comfort and breathability. I'm wearing right now the solid performance polo that hugs my chest and arms while tapering just enough at the waist to show off the good parts. Twillery carries suiting, polos, button-ups, and everything to impress at the job or knock someone's socks off on a date. And you can shop for the perfect fit right now at Twillery.com, and we've got a special offer for the DBGM family. Take $18 off your first order by using code M300J. That's Twillery.com, and we thank them for supporting our channel. Hey teammates, welcome back. So Aaron, are you ready to react?
I am. I did want to shout. We got a new member in the chat.
We got a new member in the chat. Who is it?
Nigel Simon.
Hey, that's a good beard, Nigel.
That is a nice beard.
That is. I would ask, like, did you do that intention, like the 2 stripes, or did it just grow like that? Because I mean, that's pretty dope. I'm getting a couple grays down there. Y'all can't see them because I got color in because of the makeup. But I got a whole bunch of gray in my little goatee. I can't grow a beard. All right, you ready to react to T.S. Madison?
I am.
Have you seen this?
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay, because I got some thoughts and opinions. All right, so we're reacting. So T.S. Madison did a car rant. I'm using rant in affectionately calling it a rant, where she talked about her experience with the performer that we will no longer be referring to by name. And here it goes. Here goes nothing.
I'm on my way to do a live show here in DC. I want to, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Washington, D.C. for proclaiming May 23rd, T.S. Madison Day. I am I'm elated and I'm like overjoyed that I have the opportunity to be recognized for
Pause right there. Aaron.
Mm-hmm. What happened? What's up?
Trying to get you up there.
Oh.
Like the idea that T.S. Madison went from horn to now she got a day in the nation's capital. Imagine the trajectory of that.
One thing that inspires me about her is, everybody kind of like, especially like growing up in church and things, people feel like, oh, you got to hide your past and all these things like that, and you got to cover it up. I love that she is undeniably herself, and that's truly what opens doors for her.
Yeah, I mean, just T.S. Madison is so fucking dope to me, and the idea that she has to even deal with people like this particular performer is unfortunate, but I will tell you, she dealt with it very well.
Very well.
Very well.
But see, let me say, can I also say, because you said rant earlier, I'm like, no, this was well constructed. She gave us an outline. She gave us an introduction, an
This was a
outline
thesis
of what she was going to talk about, and she executed every single point. Bop, bop, bop.
But now it is a rant. She just really good on her feet now. I have interviewed T.S. Madison one time, and when I tell you, she might be funny and all the things, but when I tell you, Madam Madison is smart as hell. She is quick and smart. Now I can't say that for the person she's talking about. I don't know her. I don't like that bitch. I don't see her. But here we go.
Philanthropical work that I do in our community and for our community. Now, let me just start out by saying I'm not perfect. I've never been perfect. I never have been perfect. And I never will be perfect. But I will say this. The gays in our community, aka some of the butch queens, the homosexual men, whom I advocate fiercely for, to the point sometimes where the girls be like, girl, are you a gay man? Who I advocate so fiercely for. It's very unfortunate that you get to a place and you get to a place where you don't defend me. Now, when we talked about things the other day, and we joke and whatever, I want to speak about how I move. I flew from set in Los Angeles, California. I flew from set to DC from working 3 days. I constantly have projects that I'm working on that I'm quiet about. I'm constantly in motion. I'm constantly getting to the bag, like constantly. So you gotta know that I don't have time to really be watching somebody's bag or watching how nobody get no money, right?
Okay. Now let's pause right there. I want to see if does this come up. Does the chat come up if I do this?
No. And I put the new one in.
Okay. The chat ain't agreeing with us. But as someone who did a lot of travels in 24, and I took you with me, the one thing about being on the move is you don't have time to worry about anything else.
No.
Like when you going from one plane to one show to one this to one that to a project here to a project there, you ain't got time to be worried about nobody else.
Ain't got no time for it.
Like last year, now not to toot my own horn, but toot. Last year, this show went from New Orleans to Houston to DC to Los Angeles to Seattle. We went to Cape Town, South Africa. We've gone places.
Yes.
And I ain't have time to worry about myself, let alone anybody else. So the idea that some has-been is thinking that Madam Madison on from the set of RuPaul's Drag Race and from the set of Fag Talk and her City Winery tour
The
and
Outlaws
Outlaws
podcast,
podcast, the idea
Beauty in Black.
Beauty in Black and the T.S. Madison Starter House. Like the idea, the arrogance to believe that this person who is doing all these things, from philanthropy to helping the girls get off the street to entertaining us on the internet and television, has time to worry about anything but herself.
But see, it's probably projection, honestly.
It probably is projection. Now this is the part that does piss me off, though. This computer don't want me to be great. But here's the part that pisses me off. That in the event that we, butch queens, we men, the people who have privilege in our culture, have opportunity to put somebody on, we for some reason go to these very, very non-queer people thinking that that's the come up. And I don't get it. Why do we have so much clout stowed away in straight people's acceptance?
Hold on, let me scroll through the comments. I got a response for you. But no, I think that it's really sad because Living Life 2024 says, I hate to see gay people hype up known homophobic people. And hold on.
I just don't get it. So Winter Menace. Sidebar. Winter Menace, I want to see what that back looks like in that foggy mirror. Feel like baby got back. But Winter Menace says gay men seek approval of straight people more than they want to protect trans people. That's absolutely correct. So I tell everybody that me and Aaron go to an affirming church here in Atlanta, right? If I say that, you can just Google affirming church in Atlanta and find out what church it is. But we go there, and one thing that our pastor says is, I will not contribute to my own oppression.
Exactly.
And I feel like this whole situation, from platforming Khia to not defending T.S. Madison, is just contributing to your own oppression as gay men on every level.
Did you also see Gay Magazine reached out to the promoter to get clarification on, why are y'all bringing her, blah, blah, blah. And he blocked them on.
He blocked Gay Magazine?
Yes.
To me, that just is just a red herring that he fucked up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want anybody to call him on it. He, she, they. Again, I'm not trying to misgender anybody because I all I know is promoter. Living Life 2024. It's no different than how straight black men platform known racists. Like, agreed. Like black MAGA Republicans don't make no sense to me. A King says, I'll never understand how someone who identifies as a butch queen could ever be against our trans sisters. It'll never make sense. It absolutely does not make sense. Now, let me ask you this, because I will say, and when I talked about this with some of my friends, they said that I was reaching a little bit. Now, I ain't gonna play the video, but Khia was like, in describing her interactions with T.S. Madison, why she is, in her feelings about whatever, she said, never do something with a nigga when they trying to do something. And just the way she said a nigga,
we knew what she meant. There was subtext there.
Is it clear to y'all? Like it's clear to me?
Yes.
That she's talking about a woman, calling them a nigga. Like, I'm okay. Now, if y'all bitches between each other and that's how y'all gonna be catty, that's one thing. But calling a woman, in my head, I was like, when would I ever call a straight woman a nigga?
I wouldn't.
Or a cis woman, I mean. When would I ever call a cis woman? And I just wouldn't. Now there are niggas out there. Like, I don't mind dropping the N-word. among the family. Jamal Smoot says there is a certain look to butch queens who don't understand the safety of trans people, and I'll leave it to that. Well, hold on. You got to unpack that for me.
Yeah,
Go back to that. There is a certain
look
to butch queens who don't understand the safety of trans people. Unpack that for me, Jamal. I know you want to leave it at that, but help me understand what you mean by that. Jalen Barnes says cis gay men tend to be the weakest link in the LGBT community, the same way cis hetero black men are the weakest link in the black community. I saw a TikTok the other day about, now because we got to keep going. She talked for 28 minutes. I want to make sure we get to some key parts of it. But I saw this reel about all I can remember is like the fruit of it is that black men, for some reason, want to demonize everything that they've contributed to create. Like black men will demonize fatherless sons, even though black men are the reason why these sons are fatherless. Black men would, like, for instance, because a lot of black people do believe that people grow up to be gay because they didn't have a male influence in their life. Even if that's true, that's not my story, but even if that's true, that's a black man's problem.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that little kid got probably was a mama.
Definitely had a mama.
So you want to demonize femininity because you believe that they didn't have a strong male figure, but we not holding black men accountable to the issues that they create in our culture, which translates into gay culture. We want to demonize all these trans people, even though our job as the men in our culture, as a cis men in our culture, is to be the protector, but we're not protecting nobody. Taj Will says it's a lot of low self-esteem people in the black and gay community. They feel outside validation will help them be accepted. I agree. And the hard part, now this is where I'll toot our own horn, because Aaron and I create Dear Black Gay Men podcast with a whole team of people of all different identities. We've got straight women, we've got straight men that work with us, we've got gay men, obviously me, Aaron, John, Twink Tech Support. He's I don't know what word John uses. He is same gender loving, but I don't know what word he uses. I think he might be queer or pan.
I feel like John is much more queer.
John is out. We're not outing him, but I don't know that he uses the term gay the same way I or Aaron would. But what I'm saying is we've got all these different identities here because there is a lot of low self-esteem in our culture. There is a lot of people who do not understand the power and the strength it takes to love us unconditionally. And that's the whole purpose of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. We want to show how dope it is to be us and to love us. Jamal Smoot says they try to portray themselves as hyper masculine. They make sure everyone knows, yes, they are gay, but not that gay. Now, I'll give you that.
You remember, did you see that video of that white Republican gay man in them sequins talking about, I'm just not trying to force it down your throat? I'm like, sir, you have on a sequin sweater and jacket.
You know who
My
that reminds
eyes
me
are
of?
suffering.
You know, that reminds me of Beverly Leslie from Will and Grace.
Yes.
Because he was a white, very gay Republican character, but
it was a joke.
It was clearly a joke because Leslie Jordan, God rest his soul. Leslie Jordan, amazing entertainer, God rest his soul. But Leslie Jordan was so super duper gay. It was tremendously ironic. But let's keep going with T.S. Madison, see what she said here.
Now, I want to talk about this washed up has-been, Khia Sorrento. Nobody even drives Kias anymore, and if you do, you
pause right there. Now, I will say the journalist in me wants to make sure that we acknowledge T.S. Madison has recanted her statement, and she has no ill feelings toward Kia drivers, toward Kia the company, toward Kia vehicles. She has no ill will. She has recanted and apologized for Kia. So I feel like it's important to just note that.
Oh my God. The Kia drivers are like, now why am I in it?
Now how I get in it? Now how I get it? That's exactly.
All right, let's go.
Step your credit up, girl. You go out here on this stage, right? And you get to DC. I didn't even know that you were really booked because I'm so booked. I'm so booked. I didn't even know that this broad was booked. And you get here and you let these I want to talk to the homosexual men first. The homosexuals that were up there and allowed that woman to say that I tried to call to stop her show. Girl, you were booked for lemon pepper wings and $2,500.
Now let's pause right there, because I will say, as someone who has been booked for lemon pepper wings and $2,500, I am absolutely not T.S. Madison. Like, I am proud to get lemon pepper wings and $2,500 because of where I am in my career. Clearly, me and Madam Madison are different. The fact that she recanted the statement is a testament to that, the way this woman is a freaking social media genius. Now, when I tell you she recanted it, and I felt like I needed to watch the whole thing
again
twice.
I feel like this is like the extended version of the now check that.
This is the T.S. Madison is queer culture's Phaedra Parks circa whatever season that was, season 6 of Housewives. T.S. Madison is our Phaedra Parks, but just from the reunion.
Just from the reunion,
not the season. Like, she was, and it might just be that little soundbite too.
That soundbite,
but
or just the fact that the title of the Reed Queen, the Queen of Reeds. There we go.
She is. I mean,
I'm not a lemon pepper wing fan, because y'all gonna learn I am allergic to chicken.
How he's black and allergic to chicken, I don't know.
It sucks.
But
a pub sub and $2,500 jerk turkey, I'm game.
But again, as someone who, like, my booking fee is $2,500, so I'm like, okay. I totally get it. Now, granted enough, I can also acknowledge me and T.S. Madison are night and day. We are two different planes of existence in this thing, and she is bigger and larger and more powerful, impactful than I am. But Khia ain't. Like, they could have legitimately gave me that check, and I would have been there. No, I wouldn't. I would not go to DC Pride. I would not go to whoever this is at DC Pride. I would not attend or patronize or support whatever that person puts on.
Everybody's talking about, this discourse is about the woman from Atlanta, but nobody's talking about the fact that Young Miami was there as well.
Which is also fucked. Like, if I were Young Miami, I would be pissed off.
Why?
No,
I'm talking about she's had homophobic statements made in the past as well.
See, I did not know that.
That's the tea. And
did
folks
not know
were
that.
kind of like...
So wait a minute. So you telling me that on the same stage, Young Miami, who you're saying has said homophobic things...
the internet was clocking that tea as well.
And Khia, who is blatantly homophobic, were on the same stage during a Pride celebration? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. And there was like discourse about this for weeks. Like, the actual DC Pride committee had to get on the video and be like, that's not us, all of this stuff. And then nobody could get in touch with the actual promoter.
But I think I remember seeing somebody being interviewed by Gay Magazine defending the reason why Khia was on a stage. Mm-hmm. I think I remember seeing that. I don't remember. Let's keep going.
Pepper wings and $2,500. You came there in a sheen white lace set with a pair of Blair White biscuits on, standing in front of the stage screaming a 35-year-old song, neck and back, bitch. Are you kidding me?
Did you know that My Neck, My Back isn't her song?
Stop.
That is a cover.
Stop.
Did you know that? There is a song from the 70s
Wait, that song? That
Yes.
lick my. Oh, yes. It's been going around on social media
That this
recently.
not her song.
It's, oh my God.
Keep going.
You are your own cancer, Khia. You are your own cancer. Every time you open your mouth and you speak to the community, you speak about us having AIDS. You speak about us being men in wigs, men in dress. You speak about this, right? You've canceled yourself.
Mm.
You never take any accountability. You never take any accountability for the things that you say. You've canceled yourself. You open your mouth. You call us sissies in wigs, punks in dresses, niggas and dudes, and blah, blah, blah. You're not a faggot. So you don't have authority. You don't have the right to use those terms. You're not a faggot. You're adjacent to the community. You're not a faggot. So you can't do that. And you sit here and you do this, and then you blame your mistake of the Queen's Court was thinking that you were lower than what you were. And my mistake was thinking that you're bigger than you are.
Okay,
Because
pause right there. Because that resonated with me.
Mm.
T.S. Madison said, Khia's mistake is thinking that she is lower. And I translated that to mean that she is more relatable in queer culture than she is. And T.S. Madison's mistake was thinking that Khia's name was hot in these streets more than what it was.
Yeah.
And I absolutely...
More than her name.
When I watch back some of the things that they did as Queen's Court way back when, yeah, I do think that T.S. Madison thought that Khia was hotter than T.S. Madison. Yeah. But the gotcha is what put both of them on during that season were the girls.
Yes.
And I didn't know all of the problematic things Khia said until I saw her regularly on T.S. Madison's stage. And then she separated from him. And I was like, thank God. Because that's when she got real funny. Like, after post Khia is fuck y'all hoes Valentine's. Fuck, that is post Khia. Fuck y'all hoe Valentine. He fucking me. He fucking me. That is post Khia. Or step your pussy up, honey. Get a job. Own a business, bitch. Suck a dick. That is T.S. Madison post Khia. This is the first issue. Anyone that is not an ally should not be a part of no pride celebration. Now I will co-sign on that. Panther says Queen's Court was everything. She dropped the bag hard. Now I will say without equivocation that Khia fumbled that bag. Because T.S. Madison took the Queen's Court on tour, just like she is taking Fag Talk on tour with Craig the Writer, and just like she is gone from her basement to RuPaul's Drag Race to having a talk show on, was it Lifetime? She had a reality show on VH1, I think. T.S. Madison has been around the world many, many times.
And I think that it's, again, the one thing that inspires me about her is that she is unequivocally herself.
Yeah.
She makes smart business decisions for sure, but she is unequivocally herself. And I think that in this moment, like this rant, it is the plight of not just T.S. Madison, but trans women who protect and uplift the gay community.
And don't get nothing in return.
Nothing in return. Get paid dust by their own community.
Like, I think so when this reminds me like the inauguration of 47/45, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in his inaugural speech, he said from going forward there are only two genders. Mm-hmm. And I told you I had been working alongside Hope Giselle all last year. So I texted her and I said, had it not been for you, Hope, I wouldn't understand how fucked up this is.
Yeah.
That the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, just erased your whole life in a sentence. Erased, the experience of trans people of all walks and all creeds in a sentence. And so I texted her and I said, I'm really sorry and I feel really bad about this. And she told me, and I hope I'm not telling her business, but she told me that really touched her because she doesn't get that kind of support from the Butch Queens. there are many Bush queens that love and cut for Hope Giselle and T.S. Madison and all the trans advocates and allies and all the things. But like the real person to person connection that helps, the people in the work sustain,
Mm-hmm.
they don't see those kind of connections between cis people and trans people. And that makes me really, at the time it made me really sad, and then I come back to this set and the people that we talk to, and it kind of makes me mad because I'm like you just told me there's 98 people watching us, and I would wager that this is 98 people that
109 now.
109 people. We crossed 100.
We crossed 100.
Shout out to you, Aaron. Good job.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I couldn't hear that. But yes. Yes.
But yeah, I hope, I really do hope that we are making a change in the culture here at Dear
Yes.
Black Gay Men.
I think the most important thing is while our name is Dear Black Gay Men, or while her name is T.S. Madison or Hope Giselle,
Mhm.
the one thing that I always push us to do, and that I see them doing as well, is that they're not just fighting for their identity or their community, they're fighting for all of us. And I think that that has to be something that we continue to do, is
Yeah.
not to just fight for people who look like us, who love like us, who appear like us, but to continue to keep everybody in mind, even the ones that get on our nerves.
But that's just the nature of being a trans advocate on any level. Like the second that you advocate for trans people, like black trans women, for instance, black women will succeed. Black trans people of other identities will succeed. Queer people succeed. Men succeed. Everybody up the food chain wins when black trans women win.
Because the thing is, when you solve something and you create something that is designed for the people who are suffering the most,
Yeah.
who are on the farthest fringes, you actually solve it for everybody.
But the problem is, like when I was on this podcast, I won't say the name of it, and like we were talking, one of the cast members that I was talking to was trying to compare. Hey, thank you so much again, and
Keep talking.
I mean, you put up a pretty face, and I
I
get a little
did.
distracted. But Elizabeth A, I love watching. Go back.
Oh.
I love watching you all. You are doing the work. Thank you so much. But the person that I was talking to on this podcast was trying to compare discrimination. They were trying to compare traumas, right? And saying that of course I know what trauma looks like. I'm a black gay man, but I'm talking about black trans people. And I'm like, this is apples and oranges, bro.
Yeah.
Like we do have a level of privilege. We got cis privilege, we got male privilege, we got all these things compared to a black trans woman, for instance. There are privileges she would not have the same access to. And what made me so upset about it is that I think a lot of us, black, cis, queer men, feel as if we are the bottom rung of the ladder.
Mhm.
And so we don't got to fight for nobody else.
Yeah.
When really, there is always another rung under you.
Being as somebody who's worked in diversity, DEI spaces and things like that, a lot of people think that way. Like a lot of people begin to center themselves into echo chambers where they only hear the concerns, like, there's the women's groups or even the black groups. And then it's just like,
We all
where's
becoming Karens.
right, and where's the intersections? It's like, okay, women's group, when are y'all gonna do a intersection with the black group and maybe hear what the black women are saying? Or the black group, why don't we do an intersection with the LGBTQ group, so we can understand those intersections.
But along
people
those
don't think
lines,
like
Aaron, I mean, we working at Dear Black Gay Men. So maybe that's the call to action to even us,
Yeah.
is that we got to figure out a way to sit in our intersections.
Mhm.
Because black gay man is a number of intersections,
Yes.
but there are many things that we touch that maybe even we need to step our pussy up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's keep it. It's very interesting that this is the conversation that T.S. Madison is inspiring, but shout out to her.
You've been a detriment to your own self in the entirety of your career. You're correct. I elevated when I separated from you. You were a cancer. You're a cancer to yourself, and you are going to be a cancer to me. Ma'am, I just bought a $1.3 million home. Are you
The
kidding me?
Maison.
Me stopping your $2,500 booking and your lemon pepper wings was not going to do anything to my purse, miss. My flight from D.C. in Delta One from L.A. was $2,500, girl. You've lost the entirety of your mind. I made $50,000, bitch, in 24 hours, girl, from me saying, oh my God, bitch. You've lost your
Now, I
mind.
will say this. Now, granted enough, it is a flex for her to be able to say I made $50,000 in a weekend, especially at Pride, because squeezing money out of the Pride promoters is difficult nowadays in the world of 2025, right? But what I will say is, if you peel back the bravado of what she's saying, what I told T.S. Madison when I had the opportunity to interview her is the idea that she made $50,000 in a weekend being herself showed me that I can do that too.
Yes. Yes.
And in this content creator space, in this, entrepreneurial space, I need every piece of encouragement I can. And while I ain't making 50 G's in a weekend, the proximity privilege war is a problem. Everyone, race, heterosexuality, masculinity, agreed. Quincy, thank you so much. Winter, and kept her pronouns correct while reading her front to back. Now
That's
not
it.
once did Madam Madison misgender this woman. Now, she might have called her out her name, but she was always female something.
Yeah. I think that
She even called her Miss. She just called her Miss. Not once were you going to touch my bag, Miss.
So one thing that I would tell you is that I think in a world on social media where we see everybody playing into these caricatures, being you can't even tell some content creators apart. Everybody doing the same the same thing, trying to be this image. I think that T.S. Madison and even you are a reminder that stay in your lane.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I will say, we jokingly say on the team, people ask me a whole bunch of questions when we put on this show, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's an Aaron question. That's a John question. That's a somebody else question because I don't have the capacity to deal with it, right?" But that's really my mantra about everything. Like, I'm reacting to this because there are aspects of this that I feel like we need to call in cis men and we need to call out bullshit. That is why we are reacting to this. But I ain't going to react to everything that happens in queer culture because that's not in my lane. I am here to be myself and remind us how dope it is to be only that. You don't have to be the body boys. You don't have to be the OnlyFans girls. You don't have to be porn. You don't have to be all evolved all the time. You don't have to be Deepak Chopra and Oprah. You can be yourself, right? And that is enough. And that is my whole goal. And the irony is, T.S. Madison ain't no Oprah either. She ain't no... Now, I would love to see a T.S. Madison TED Talk, but I haven't seen one yet. But she is herself. She got a fly mouth. She is quick-witted. She is smart as hell. She's a savvy businesswoman. All those things. She can be authentically herself and find her lane and make it make sense. And that's really the mission for all of us. All of us can do that. Elizabeth A. said what? Authenticity is something missing largely in the creator realm. I agree, because a lot of us don't know what it means. I had to even find what authenticity means for me. AJ Zahn, I hope I'm saying that right. Why are y'all both so fine, though? Oh,
Thank you.
I'm trying to, the funny fact about us being fine, Aaron woke up like this. Jay is wearing a whole face of makeup. So this is apples and oranges. Like, one of us has to try our damnedest, and the other is Aaron.
Lord.
Okay, Josiah Tucker says comparing trauma doesn't help anyone. Trauma affects everyone on an individual basis. Trauma should be met with compassion, or how it affects the person, no, not the measure of the external event. Absolutely. But I do think that a lot of trauma comparisons happen in our culture. Byron Marcel I don't know how to say that last name. It angers me how people are so quick to call Auntie Maddie a villain when she claps back and ignoring the disrespect she endures. Now, the gotcha about that is, and it again, I am very biased because I am a deep T.S. Madison fan and I don't like that bitch, the other one. And so I'm absolutely biased. I do not think Maddie is the villain. I do not think that she was inappropriate. The only thing she said inappropriate was shitting on them damn Khias.
But see, can we I know everybody always saying kids off limit, kids this, kids that.
No, I said Khias. Shitting on the Khias.
Oh, on the Kias. I thought you
Yes.
said kids because
Because,
I'm like,
baby, when I
nah.
tell you a Kia Optima is a good car. My brother drove a Kia Optima.
You know they're not called the Optima no more, right?
What is it?
It's called the Kia K5.
Okay.
They renamed it.
Optima, Sorrento, K5. I want to drive a Stinger. That's my next car. My next gas car. I'll do one EV. Richard Kelly says, I know Aaron acts, but Jay, do you act? I act like a butch queen.
Lord. Lord
me.
Jesus.
All right, let's keep going. We got 10 more minutes.
Okay.
About you that I needed to take anything from. You came and you sat in my $500,000 home and went back to your slave cabin, bitch. And you constantly talk about my basement, girl. That basement was one of the biggest elevations that you've had since your neck and your motherfucking back. Because you.
Okay, let's talk about the basement real quick.
Because
that basement was iconic.
Iconic.
That basement was fucking iconic.
Yes.
The fact that she did all of that in a basement, that is amazing to me. It took a studio for us to get this, and she did it in her basement. She had audiences in her basement. She had everything in her basement. Now, what I will say is that is a level of commitment that I don't think a lot of us have in our culture. Like when we were in our basement, I didn't even want Aaron and the team in the basement while I was recording. They were in their house. I was in my house in the basement with the lights and all the things. Mm-hmm. But the idea that T.S. Madison was committed enough to what she knew she was building. She invited, Joe Schmo and Jane Doe and everybody to T.S. Madison's basement so they could sit there and listen to Khia and Funky and Miss Sophia and all of them, and Craig at some point do Queen's Court, Queen Supreme Court, Fag Talk, all the things that they've done. I think that is amazing.
And I feel like, you can't... It's like if I got my start at Dear Black Gay Men Studio, I can't then later in life shit on it. Because that's how I got to where I am. So, like, you trying to...
Keep going. Talk.
Oh, I'm like, you can't shit on the basement when the basement is probably the only reason that you're relevant, in that you got your $2,500 and
your lemon pepper wings.
So you're really shitting on yourself.
I mean, there's no way to make sense of crazy or stupidity. That is one thing I've learned through all of this.
Yeah.
Is that crazy and stupidity do not make sense when you are approaching it, trying to see it through the frame of common sense or frame of decency or the frame of hustle or the frame of entrepreneurial spirit. Those things just do not align. Living Life 2024 says, when has Khia ever used her platform to uplift LGBTQ people or issues that our community faces? But there is a video of her and the promoters and them calling her a queen. Queen of what? Nothing. I do not know. I don't now, granted enough, I'm not a journalist here. I need a reading class from Auntie. How you gonna get so creative and say slave cabin? Because when you look at it, all we see is the wood paneling behind her. Now, mind you, I have wood paneling behind me, but I think it is. And you see, we got wood paneling here, but I think our wood paneling is a little bit more chic.
I've been to a slave cabin. I went to the ones in Montgomery, that they had at the monument, something like that. This don't look like
So not funny, but my great grandmother and my great grandfather on my mom's mom, she and her husband were sharecroppers, and so one random trip we went and I saw where they grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, when I tell you, I don't know if it was a slave camp. I don't know if people were enslaved in this place, but when I tell you, thank you. When I tell you, it was dismal.
Yeah.
And not to again humorize the period of enslavement, but when Khia be going live, there are some similarities. I don't know if y'all can tell, but again, I don't like Khia. I don't support her. I don't believe in what she stands for. I don't think that she's an asset to our culture. So clearly, I'm very biased in this particular conversation, but I hope you have enjoyed it because now we got to get to commenting on comments.
Yes.
You ready, Aaron?
I'm ready.
All right, let me get my buttons together. All right, let's comment on some comments. Okay, teammates, before we head out, let's Substack is our publication where you can read dating stories from our viewers, get my take on dating and culture questions that come in, and connect even more deeply with us here at Dear Black Gay Men. Our paid subscribers on Substack get steamy sex stories, exclusive content, and first access to events here in the back room and across the country, just like our live shows coming up in June. June 5th is the next one. Subscribing to our Substack is absolutely free with options to upgrade to paid subscription if the spirit moves you. Just visit dearblackgaymen.substack.com. The link is in the description. This week, I posted the question that says, you make it official with your boyfriend. Who is the first person you tell? Aaron?
I'm probably telling my best friend and then y'all.
Like, how quickly are you telling? Is this like,
Oh, as soon as it happens. I mean, like, I imagine that if we become official, we're probably gonna be somewhere in person and living on our little honeymoon phase for like an hour. Like, oh my god, you're my boyfriend. Hi, boyfriend.
you think the honeymoon phase wears off in an hour?
I'm not talking about that kind. I mean, like, that's my man. That's my boyfriend. Like, how like the newlyweds be like my wife, my husband.
Like, I tell people, like, I cannot wait to say, oh, let me check with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. My twin cousin. Holla at your boy says my best friend. Okay, but the question is, so the bigger question that I'm curious about is, when you have been in relationship, Aaron, I'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like an official conversation, or do you just kind of end up in relationship? Like, is somebody sitting down and being like, will you be my boyfriend?
Oh, I don't end up nowhere, honey.
What does that mean to you?
I'm very direct. So I think it's definitely going to be a conversation, definitely going to be an understanding that we come to of like, hey, where are we going? Where do we want to do? What do we want to do in this relationship? Like even before we embark there. I feel like when you I have a little space in my life for spontaneity, but not like in defining my relationships.
And I know a lot of people who they just been together for X number of weeks or months or whatever. Living life says my ex. Now that's a good fucking answer. My close friends and my mom. I don't know that my mom is in the top of my list. I know that like y'all are the top list. Dabble says I don't end up nowhere. Cause I mean Aaron is smart as hell. Let's be clear about that.
Turning on the GPS, honey.
So mine was I would tell my best friend. I would tell y'all. In case y'all wanted to make TV out of it. So I posted this on Substack. So the way Substack works, for everybody who does not know, Substack, you can download the app, you can use the website dearblackgaymen.substack.com. But in Substack, we post content, written content, videos, all things. Panthro, I saw you join the Substack this weekend. Thank you so much. In addition to that, though, there is a DM feature where I posted this question. Some of the answers, you want to hear some?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I said, you make it official with the guy you're dating. Who is the first person you tell? The gay erotic says, my homophobic mother and sisters.
Cortez, he's definitely telling his
Definitely
mom.
telling mom. J. Martin Fitzhugh, our newest Substack member, says, the first person that asks, I don't need to broadcast it to the world will see it. Josiah Tucker, no one right away. I will want to enjoy the bliss of the moment before everyone start giving their thoughts and opinions. After that, my best friend and sister. This week on the podcast, remember our podcast is published on Substack, on Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I'm going to be talking about the 3 things that happen after you make your relationship official. There are 3 major milestones that happen after you make your relationship official, and you need to brace your relationship for it, or you might end up fumbling it in the beginning stages. So all of this is leading up to the content that is coming out tomorrow that I'm very excited about. This is all firsthand knowledge. This lesson, big, huge, monumental lessons that I had to learn for myself to safeguard my relationship from some of the woes of queer culture. So I really want y'all to tune in to our Substack. Again, visit dearblackgayman.substack.com, and then you can subscribe to our podcast. You can get all of our written content. You can see columns from Aaron and some of our contributors, as well as answer this question. That has been our show. I think that's where I'm at. Yeah. Byron Marcel said that one friend with CIA level investigating skills. I tell that is McQuan for me. McQuan can find anything about anybody, but McQuan is the one I tell, like, oh, I met a guy, and he'll be like, what's his name? And then next thing you know, he's like, did he used to live on such and such? I'm just kidding. Sean Michael Hardy, MSW. I love a man with some letters behind his name. Close friends, social media ruins relationships. I absolutely agree, unless you're a podcaster like me, and then all of a sudden social media boosts everything. House of D, my best friend, if she tells she disappearing off the face of the earth. Like, do y'all like having a secret lover?
That's what we are. Trying so hard to find.
Before we get all off topic, that was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. We'll be right back here with Dear Black Gay Men in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Then the podcast is new on Wednesdays on Substack, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I appreciate you all more than I can ever express. I will see you next time. Bye.